So, little truth time. It's been over a week since the passing of my father. And this isn't the first time I've lost somebody. Probably this is the most closest family member that I've lost. But, I've lost my grandparents, my grandfather just this year, and I lost my best friend to cancer 5 years ago. And grief is a weird thing. You experience grief differently with different situations and losses, and not to diminish any loss before. I think for the most part, a lot of my handling of grief was not handled in the past. I can very much see that my handling of my friend passing, I did not deal with that grief. I'm still dealing with it 5 years later because I never really addressed it. I never really sat with it. I never really processed it. And there was a lot going on in my life at that time as well. And there was a lot of other loss and other grief that I was dealing with. And so I think for the most part, there's a lot that never really got dealt with. And now that I'm dealing with the loss of my father, the grief is very much prominent and very much there and very much like, okay, you got to deal with me now. You've decided not to for years, and now I'm in your fucking lap and you got to deal with me. And it's weird. Some days I'm okay. I feel like, life is just going on and moving along and everything's okay. And then there's days like today where it was really, really difficult just to get out of bed. If I didn't have my son and, the routine of life to, get him going to school and, me going to work and so on and so forth. I didn't have him to be that impetus for me to get up and to start the day. I'd probably still be in bed right now. I probably would have called in to work and just not dealt with life today. Just slept the day away. And I'm not saying not doing that is good or, doing that is bad or, not doing that is bad and whatever. I'm not putting any value or, right or wrong on it. It's more of just that realization that those are the choices and those are the things that happen. Those are the things that come up, and how life kind of just, pushes you one way or another despite what you may feel you want or you need or you want to do and things like that. And one of the things why I wanted to talk about this is work lately has been interesting. My job, I've done it for a couple of years now. I started doing it when the pandemic, like literally when the pandemic started, and I've been working with my team and everything, for the past almost 3 years now. And outside of having to learn new stuff and new processes, where it will take me some time to kind of figure stuff out, and I'm kind of slow at first while I'm learning something. Besides that, outside of that, I can work pretty much independently on my own, easy, no problem, just fly through my tasks, do what I need to do, No problem. Now, my brain is foggy. My reactions are slower. I don't feel like I can just do things and just be able to just let it go on autopilot. Like, I know what my tasks are. I know how to do certain things, and I can just, put my mind on autopilot and just, get everything done and, just churn out all my work and not really have to think about it. But now everything has to be intentional. Like, everything has to be thought through and felt and contemplated, and it's not just easy to throw out. The autopilot is different. There really isn't an autopilot right now. I feel like everything I do requires such effort. Everything feels heavy. I feel heavy. I feel burdened, weighed down, and all I want to do is just shed the weight of this feeling, of this whatever it is that I have on me. It's grief, sadness, loss, whatever, all of that, none of that, some of that, whatever it is. But I just, like, everything has intention now. Everything has concentration and focus. There's no autopilot. There's no easy. There's just process. Whether it's processing what's up here, processing what I do with my hands, processing what I do, just in general daily life. And it's just exhausting. It's exhausting. And I know there's no way around it. There's no way over it. There's only through it. You can only get through it. And there's a lot to get through. I don't have any regrets. I left everything with my father. We had our talk. We had our talks. I was doing most of the talking, but, I don't have any regrets. And so it's not that feeling. It's more of just things were I don't know. And maybe a lot of it was that life before and how I was kind of doing life was very much on autopilot, just in general. Like, I wasn't feeling anything. I wasn't participating in things. I was just doing things because that's what it is. You get up, you go, you get your children ready to go to school. You take them to school. You go, you do work. You work all day. Go pick them up from school. Go home. Make dinner. Get them to bed. Clean up. Do whatever thing you do around the house. And then get yourself into bed and then wake up and do the whole thing all over again. And it's just the monotony, the rigmarole, the day-to-day, everything, routine that you just get used to, and life becomes autopilot. And then something happens and all that gets shaken up, and then you realize that there are things that happen and meaning that happens and meaning that's created from situations and in moments and time and all these things. And then you feel burdened by that realization that, there's magic in the mundane, that there's issues and things that we deal with on the daily that we just don't get locked into, that we're just like, oh, okay, it's just another day. It's just another day. Well, no. Today's not just another day. And we shouldn't just consider every day to just be another day, because we don't know if tomorrow will be another day, if we'll have that other day tomorrow, if we'll have that other day 5 years from now. It's intention, feeling, being. I think maybe why I'm so alarmed by all this is that maybe I'm feeling for the first time in a really long time, because I've pushed everything down, I've closed everything up, I've kept everything in and not felt. And so everything feels different, everything feels new, everything feels hard, everything feels heavy, because now there's meaning. Now there's something behind it. Now there's value. I'm not saying it wasn't valuable before, but when you don't pay attention to something, when you don't coax it, when you don't interact with it, when you don't feel it, when you don't, you know what I'm saying? When it's not preserved, it loses its value, it loses its weight, loses its position in your life. And a lot of that had guided me to fear and let fear run my life. And a lot of opportunities have come and gone because I let fear take the wheel and allow it to steer my life. And maybe this is also part of the feeling and the awakening back into reality, that I can't let fear be there all the time to steer my life, to make my decisions, to be the dominating factor in my decision making, in what I do. Intention. Grief. It's all a weird thing. It's all a weird thing.